Well, welcome back, everybody. Yesterday we read about how Enoch had been approached by the fallen angels to go and try to ask God's forgiveness, Father's forgiveness. And Father told him that they could never find forgiveness. And so they were locked up. They were to be locked up under the earth, and named the 5 angels that were going to lock them up. I believe it was Suriel, Raphael, Uriel, Gabriel, and Michael, or the 5 angels that were in charge of meting out that destiny for them. So we're going to pick up reading today, and again, these readings are just so that you have record of what the Sefer says in the book of Enoch, word for word. At the end of this entire reading, it's about 40 pages, we're going to do a summary of everything that happened in it. So you can always go and listen to this video while you're driving around, or while you're cleaning house. You can listen to it. So you're getting the entire book as it's written. Then at the end, we'll just do a summary. So if you want to catch up and kind of listen to what's going to happen in the whole book, you can jump forward to the summary once I complete it, and always go back and listen to it again and again. So, where we left off, here we go. So the angels, or they, raised me up, this is Enoch speaking, raised me up into a certain place where they were like the appearance of a burning fire. And when they pleased, they also assumed the likeness of men. So they could look like men. They carried me to a lofty spot on a mountain, the top of which reaches heaven, and I beheld the receptacles of light and of thunder at the extremities of the place where it was deepest. And there was a bow of fire and arrows in their quiver, a sword of fire and every species of lightning. Then they elevated me to a babbling stream, and to a fire in the west which received all of the setting of the sun. I came to a river of fire which flowed like water and emptied itself into the great sea westward. I saw every large river until I arrived at the great darkness. I went to where all the flesh migrate, and I beheld the mountains of the gloom, which constitutes winter, and the place from which issues the water in every abyss. I saw also the mouths of all the rivers in the world, and the mouths of the deep. So they're pretty much showing him the entirety of the world. I then surveyed the receptacles of all the winds, perceiving that they contributed to adorn the whole creation and to guard the foundation of the earth. I surveyed the stone which supports the corners of the earth. I also beheld the 4 winds which bear up the earth, and the firmament of heaven. And I beheld the wind occupying the exalted sky, arising in the midst of heaven and of earth, and of constituting the pillars of heaven. I saw the winds which turn the sky, which cause the orb of the sun and all of the stars to set. And over the earth I saw the winds which support the clouds. I saw the path of the angels. So he's actually seeing that the earth is one thing, and the earth is, he's saying the wind is blowing all around it in different directions, and he can see it all at once. He's perceiving it. So I perceived at the extremity of the earth the firmament of heaven above it. Then I passed towards the south, where burnt both by day and night 6 mountains formed of glorious stones, 3 toward the east and 3 toward the south. Those which were toward the east were of a variegated stone, one of which was a margarite, and another of antimony. Those toward the south were of a red stone, and the middle one reached to heaven like the throne of Elohim, a throne composed of alabaster, the top of which was a sapphire. I saw, too, a blazing fire hanging over all the mountains, and there I saw a place on the other side of an extended territory where waters were collected. I likewise beheld terrestrial fountains deep in the fiery columns of heaven. And in the columns of heaven I beheld fires which descended without number, but neither on high nor into the deep. Over these fountains also I perceived a place which had neither the firmament of heaven above it, nor the solid ground underneath it, neither was there water above it, nor anything on wing, but the spot was desolate. And there I beheld 7 stars, like great blazing mountains, and like Ruach entreating me. Then the angel said, this place, until the consummation of heaven and earth, will be the prison of the stars and the host of heavens. The stars which roll over fire are those which transgressed the commandment of Elohim before their time arrived. For they came not in their proper season. Therefore was he offended with them and bound them until the period of the consummation of their crimes in the secret year. So there's a secret year that the end of the world is going to be, it looks like. Then Uriel, which is one of the 5 angels that we just talked about, then Uriel said, here the angels who cohabitated with women, they appointed their leaders. So this is where they did all this crime. And assuming many forms, made men profane, caused them to err, so that they sacrificed to devils as to Elohim. For in the great day of judgment, with which they shall be judged, until they are consumed, and their women also shall be judged, who led astray the angels of heaven, that they might salute them. And I, Enoch, I alone saw the likeness of the end of all things, nor did any man see it as I saw it. So Enoch, like right here, is just saying he is seeing the end of the world. So that could have been a very interesting thing. So we move on. These are the names of the angels who watch. Uriel, one of the holy angels who is over clamor and terror. Raphael, one of the holy angels who is over the Ruach of men. Raguel, one of the holy angels who inflicts punishment on the world and the luminaries. Michael, which is Michael, one of the holy angels who is over mankind virtue. Commands the nations, is what he does. Sarakiel, one of the holy angels, who is over the Ruach of the children of men that transgress. Gavriel, one of the holy angels who is over the serpents, over paradise, and over the cherubim. Then I made a circuit to a place in which nothing was completed. He's going to be going through a lot of travels here, is what's going on. So, and there I beheld neither the tremendous workmanship of an exalted heaven, nor of an established earth, but a desolate spot, prepared and terrific. There too I beheld 7 stars of heaven bound in it together like great mountains, and like a blazing fire. I exclaimed, for what species of crime have they been bound, and why have they been removed to this place? Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, and who conducted me, answered, Enoch, wherefore do you ask? Wherefore do you reason with yourself and anxiously inquire? These are those of the stars which have transgressed the commandments of El Elyon, and are here bound until the infinite number of days of their crimes be completed. From there I afterwards passed on to another terrific place. Of course, terrific is the words terrible and horrific mixed. So it's not like, oh, that's terrific and great. This is terrific, terrible, and horrific. So he passes on to this terrific place where he beheld the operation of a great fire, blazing and glittering, in the midst of which there was a division. So there's a big fire, but there's a division in between it. Columns of fire struggled together to the ends of the abyss, and deep was their descent, but neither its measurement nor magnitude was I able to discover. Neither could I perceive its origin. So he couldn't even tell where it came from, but it just went on forever. He didn't even know how far. But there was a big gap in between it. Then I exclaimed, how terrible is this place, and how difficult to explore. Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, Enoch, why are you alarmed and amazed at this terrific place, at the sight of this suffering? This, he said, is the prison of the angels, and here they are kept forever. From there I proceeded to another spot, where I saw on the west a great and lofty mountain, a strong rock, and 4 delightful places. Internally it was deep, capacious, and very smooth as if it had been rolled over. It was both deep and dark to behold. Then Raphael, one of the holy angels who were with me, answered and said, "These are the delightful places where the Ruachat, the souls of the dead, will be collected. For them were they formed. And here will be collected all the souls of the sons of men. These places in which they dwell shall they occupy until the day of judgment, and until their appointed period. Their appointed period will be long, even until the great judgment. And I saw the Ruachat of the sons of men who were dead." And the Ruachat is their spirits, of course. But the Ruachat of he saw the Ruachat of the sons of the men who were dead, and their voices reached to heaven, while they were accusing. Then I inquired of Raphael, an angel who was with me, and said, "Whose Ruach is that, the voice of which reaches to heaven and accuses?" He answered, saying, "This is the Ruach of Hevel, who was slain by Cain, his brother, and who will accuse that brother until his seed be destroyed from the face of the earth." Now, listen closely. That's the Ruach of Hevel, which his brother killed him, and his brother's name was Cain. So basically we're looking at Cain and Abel. So that's the voice of Abel, who was slain by Cain, his brother. His voice reaches to heaven and accuses. So he's going to accuse that brother until his seed be destroyed from the face of the earth. So until all of Cain's children and offspring are destroyed from the face of the earth, or at the end of the world, which is what Enoch has just been showed. Or shown, however you want to say it. So until his seed perish from the seed of mankind. At that time, therefore, I inquired respecting him, and respecting the general judgment, saying, "Why is one separated from the other?" He answered, 3 separations have been made between the Ruachat of the dead, and thus have the Ruachat of the righteous been separated, namely by a chasm, by water, and by light above it. Now, if you remember, we talked about that big flaming area, and there was a split between it. And I think these are the chasms he's about to kind of let us get an introspect into. So, namely, they're being separated, all these different Ruachat, or spirits of these different types of beings, have been separated by water, light, and in the same way, likewise, sinners are separated when they die, and when they get buried in the earth, judgment not being overtaking them in their lifetime. Here their souls are separated, but moreover abundant is their suffering until the time of the great judgment, the castigation and the torment of those who eternally execrate, whose souls are punished and bound there forever, and thus has it been from the beginning of the world. Thus has there existed, a separation between the souls of those who utter complaints and of those who watch for their destruction, to slaughter them in the day of sinners. A receptacle of this sort has been formed for the souls of unrighteous men and of sinners, and those who have completed crime and associated with the impious, whom they resemble. Their souls shall not be annihilated in the day of judgment. Now, did you hear that? Their souls shall not be annihilated in the day of judgment. Neither shall they arise from this place. Then I blessed Elohim, and said, "Blessed be my Adonai, Yahuwah, of glory and of righteousness, who reigns over all, forever and ever." From there I went to another place, towards the west, into the extremities of the earth, where I beheld a fire blazing and running along without cessation, which intermitted its course neither by day nor by night, but continued always the same. I inquired, saying, "What is this which never ceases?" Then Raguel, one of the holy angels who were with me, answered and said, "This blazing fire, which you behold running towards the west, is all the luminaries of heaven. I went from there to another place and saw a mountain of fire flashing both night by day and night. I proceeded toward it and perceived 7 splendid mountains, which were all different from each other. Their stones were brilliant and beautiful. All were brilliant and splendid to behold, and beautiful was their surface. 3 were toward the east, and strengthened by being placed one upon another. 3 were toward the south, strengthened in a similar manner. There were likewise deep valleys which did not approach each other. And the 7th mountain was in the midst of them. In the length they all resembled the seat of a throne, and odoriferous trees surrounded them. Among these were a tree of an unceasing smell, nor of those which were in Eden was there one of all the fragrant trees which smelt like this. Its leaf, its flower, and its bark never withered, and its fruit was beautiful. Its fruit resembled the cluster of a palm. I exclaimed, "Behold, this tree is goodly in aspect, pleasing in its leaf, and the sight of its fruit is delightful to the eye." Then Michael, one of the holy and glorious angels who was with me and who presided over them, answered and said, "Enoch, why do you inquire respecting the odor of this tree? Are you inquisitive to know it?" Then I, Enoch, answered him and said, "Concerning everything I'm desirous of instruction, but particularly concerning this tree." He answered me, saying, "That mountain which you behold, the extent of whose head resembles the seat of Yahusha, will be the seat on which shall sit the holy and great Yahusha of glory, the everlasting King, when he shall come and descend to visit the earth with goodness. And that tree of an agreeable smell, not one of carnal odor, there shall be no power to touch until the period of the great judgment, when all shall be punished and consumed forever. This shall be bestowed on the righteous and humble. The fruit of the tree shall be given to the elect. For towards the north life shall be planted in the holy place, toward the habitation of the everlasting King. Then shall they greatly rejoice and exult in the Holy One. The sweet odor shall enter into their bones, and they shall live a long life on the earth, as your forefathers have lived. Neither in their days shall sorrow, distress, trouble, and punishment afflict them. And I blessed Yahuwah of glory, the everlasting King, because he has prepared this tree for the Kodeshayim, formed it, and declared that he would give it to them. From there I proceeded to the middle of the earth, and beheld a happy and fertile spot, which contained branches continually sprouting from the trees which were planted in it. There I saw a holy mountain, and underneath it water on the eastern side, which flowed toward the south. I saw also on the east another mountain as high as that, and between them there were deep but not wide valleys. Water ran towards the mountain to the west of this, and underneath there was likewise another mountain. There was a valley, but not a wide one, below it, and in the midst of them were other deep and dry valleys towards the extremity of all the three. All these valleys, which were deep but not wide, consisted of a strong rock, with a tree which was planted in them. And I wondered at the rock and at the valleys, being extremely surprised. Then I said, "What means this blessed land, all these lofty trees, and the accursed valley between them?" Then Uriel, one of the angels who were with me, replied, "This valley is the accursed of the accursed forever. Here shall be collected all who utter with their mouths unbecoming language against Elohim, and speak harsh things of his glory. Here shall they be collected. Here shall be their territory. In the latter days an example of judgment shall be made of them in righteousness before the Kodeshayim, while those who have received mercy shall forever, all their days, bless Elohim, the everlasting King, and at the period of judgment shall they bless him for his mercy, as he has distributed it to them. Then I blessed Elohim, addressing myself to him and making mention, as was meet, of his greatness. From there I proceeded towards the east, to the middle of the mountains in the desert, the level surface of which I perceived. It was full of trees of the seed alluded to, and water leaped down upon it. There appeared a cataract composed of as of many cataracts, both towards the west and towards the east. Upon one side were trees, upon the other water and dew. Then I went to another place from the desert, toward the east of that mountain which I had approached. There I beheld trees of judgment, particularly the sweet-smelling opiate, frankincense, and myrrh, and trees unlike to each other, and over it, above them, was the elevation of the eastern mountain, at no great distance. I likewise saw another place, with valleys of water which never wasted, where I perceived a goodly tree, which in smell resembled the mastic tree. And toward the sides of these valleys I perceived cinnamon of a sweet odor. Over them I advanced towards the east. Then I beheld another mountain containing trees, from which water flowed like Neketro. Its name was Sarira and Kalbaniba. And upon this mountain I beheld another mountain, upon which were trees of Alva. These trees were full, like almond trees, and strong, and when they produced fruit, it was superior to all redolence. After these things, surveying the entrances of the north above the mountains, I perceived 7 mountains, replete with pure nard, odoriferous trees, cinnamon, and papyrus, or papyrus, however you want to say it. From there, I passed on above the summits of those mountains to some distance eastwards, and went over the Erythraean Sea. And when I was advanced far beyond it, I passed along above the angel Zatael, and arrived at the garden of righteousness. In this garden I beheld among other trees some which were numerous and large, and which flourished there. Their fragrance was agreeable and powerful, and their appearance both varied and elegant. The tree of knowledge was also there, of which, if anyone eats, he becomes endowed with great wisdom. It was like a species of the tamarind tree, bearing fruit which resembles grapes, extremely fine, and its fragrance extended to a considerable distance. I exclaimed, "How beautiful is this tree, and how delightful is its appearance!" Then holy Raphael, an angel who was with me, answered and said, "This is the tree of knowledge of which your ancient father and your aged mother ate, who were before you, and who, obtaining knowledge, their eyes being opened, and knowing themselves to be naked, were expelled from the garden." So he's referring to Adam and Eve right there. From there I went on toward the extremities of the earth, where I saw large beasts, different from each other, and birds in various in their countenances and forms, as well as with notes of different sounds. To the east of these beasts I perceived the extremities of the earth, where heaven ceased. The gates of heaven stood open, and I beheld the celestial stars come forth. Interesting. So a gate in heaven opens up, and stars start to come forth. I numbered them as they proceeded out of the gate, and wrote them all down. As they came out one by one, according to their number, I wrote down their names all together, their times and their seasons, as the angel Uriel, who was with me, pointed them out to me. He showed them all to me, and wrote them down. He also wrote down for me their names, their regulations, and their operations. From there I advanced on toward the north, to the extremities of the earth, and there I saw a great and glorious wonder at the extremities of the whole earth. I saw there heavenly gates opening into heaven, one of them distinctly separated. The northern winds proceeded from them, blowing cold, hail, frost, snow, dew, and rain. From one of the gates they blew mildly, but when they blew from the two, it was with violence and force. They blew over the earth strongly. So he's seeing the wind coming out of an actual area with gates from the heavens. And that's Father sending the wind as he chooses. is what he's saying. From there, I went to the extremities of the world, westward, where I perceived 3 gates open, as I had seen in the north, the gates and passages through them being of equal magnitude. Then I proceeded to the extremities of the earth southwards, where I saw 3 gates open to the south, from which issued dew, rain, and wind. From there I went to the extremities of heaven eastwards, where I saw 3 heavenly gates open to the east, which had smaller gates within them. Through each of these small gates the stars of heaven passed on and proceeded towards the west, by a path which was seen by them at every period. When I beheld, I blessed every time. I blessed Yahuwah of glory, who had made those great and splendid signs, that they might display the magnificence of the works to angels and to the souls of men, and that these might glorify all his works and operations, might see the effect of his power, might glorify the great labor of his hands, and bless him forever. The vision which he saw, the second vision of wisdom which Enoch saw, the son of Yared, the son of Mahalalel, the son of Canaan, the son of Enoch, the son of Sheth, the son of Adam, this is the commencement of the word of wisdom, which I received, to declare and to tell those who dwell upon the earth, hear from the beginning, and understand to the end, the holy things which I utter in the presence of Yahuwah Sevaot. Those who were before thought it good to speak, and let not us who come after obstruct the beginning of wisdom. Until the present period, never has there been given before Yahuwah Sevaot that which I have received, wisdom according the capacity of my intellect, and according to the pleasure of Yahuwah Sevaot, that which I have received from him, a portion of life eternal. And I obtained 3 parables, which I declared to the inhabitants of the world. Parable the first. When the assembly of righteous shall be manifested, and sinners be judged for their crimes, and be troubled in the sight of the world, when the righteous one appears in the presence of the righteous themselves, who will be elected for the works, weighed by Yahuwah Sevaot, and when the light of the righteous and the elect who dwell on earth shall be manifested, where will the habitation of sinners be? And where the place of rest for those who have rejected Yahuwah Sevaot? It would have been better for them had they never been born. When too the secrets of the righteous shall be revealed, then shall sinners be judged, and impious men shall be afflicted in the presence of the righteous and the elect. From that period, those who possess the earth shall cease to be powerful and exalted. Neither shall they be capable of beholding the countenances of the holy. For the light of Yahuwah Sevaot will have appeared on the face of the holy, the righteous, and the chosen, yet shall not the mighty kings of that period be destroyed, but be delivered into the hands of the righteous and the holy. Nor thenceforward shall any obtain commiseration from Yahuwah Sevaot, because their lives will have been completed. In those days shall the elect and holy race descend from the upper heavens, and their seed shall then be with the sons of men. Enoch received Sepharim of indignation and wrath, and Sepharim of hurry and agitation. Neither shall they obtain mercy, says Yahuwah Sevaot. A cloud then snatched me up, and the wind raised me above the surface of the earth, placing me at the extremity of the heavens. There I saw another vision. I saw the habitations and resting places of the Kodeshaim. There my eyes beheld their habitations with the angels, and their resting places with the holy ones. They were entreating, supplicating, and praying for the sons of men, while righteousness like water flowed before them, and mercy like dew over the earth. And thus with them forever and ever. At that time my eyes beheld the dwelling of the elect of truth, faith, and righteousness. Countless shall be the number of the holy and the elect in the presence of Elohim forever and ever. Their residence I beheld under the wings of Yahuwah Sabaoth. All the holy and the elect sung before him, in appearance like a blaze of fire, their mouths being full of blessings, and their lips glorifying the name of Yahuwah Sabaoth, and righteousness was incessantly before him. There was I desirous of remaining, and my soul longed for that habitation. There was my antecedent inheritance, for thus had I prevailed before Yahuwah Sabaoth. At that time I glorified and extolled the name of Yahuwah Sabaoth and blessing and with praise, for he has established it with blessing and with praise according to his own good pleasure. That place long did my eyes contemplate. I blessed and said, blessed be he, blessed from the beginning forever. In the beginning, before the world was created, and without end is his knowledge. What is this world? Of every existing generation, those shall bless you who do not sleep, but stand before your glory, blessing, glorifying, exalting you, and saying, the holy, holy Yahuwah Sabaoth fills the whole world of the Ruachat. There my eyes beheld all who, without sleeping, stand before him and bless him, saying, blessed be you, and blessed be the name of Elohim forever and ever. Then my countenance became changed until I was incapable of seeing. Wow, what a vision. He got to really see something. After this, I beheld thousands and myriads of an infinite number of people standing before Yahuwah Sabaoth. On the four wings likewise of Yahuwah Sabaoth, on the four sides I perceived others, besides those who were standing. Their names too I know, because the angel who proceeded with me declared them to me, discovering to me every secret thing. Then I heard the voices of those upon the four sides, magnifying Yahuwah of glory. The first voice blessed Yahuwah Sabaoth forever and ever. The second voice I heard blessing the elect one, and the elect who suffer on account of Yahuwah Sabaoth. The third voice I heard petitioning and praying for those who dwell upon earth and supplicate the name of Yahuwah Sabaoth. The fourth voice I heard expelling the impious angels and prohibiting them from entering into the presence of Yahuwah Sabaoth to accuse the inhabitants of the earth. After this I besought the angel of peace who proceeded with me to explain all that was concealed. I said to him, who are those I have seen on the four sides, and whose words I have heard and written down? He replied, the first is the merciful, the patient, the holy Michael. The second is he who is over every suffering and every affliction of the sons of men, the holy Raphael. The third, who is over all that is powerful, is Gabriel. And the fourth, who is over repentance and the hope of those who will inherit eternal life, is Phanuel. These are the four angels of El Elyon, and their four voices, which at that time I heard. After this I beheld the secrets of the heavens and of paradise, according to its divisions, and of the action of mankind as they were weight it there in balances. So they weigh the action of mankind in balances, and there's a division area. I saw the habitations of the elect and the habitations of the holy, and there my eyes beheld all the sinners who denied Yahuwah of glory, and whom they were expelling from there and dragging away as they stood there, no punishment proceeding them from Yahuwah Sabaoth. There too my eyes beheld the secrets of the lightning and the thunder, and the secrets of the winds, how they are distributed as they blow over the earth, the secrets of the winds of the dew and of the clouds. There I perceived the place from which they issued forth and became saturated with the dust of the earth. There I saw the wooden receptacles. Now pay attention here. There I saw the wooden receptacles out of which the winds became separated, the receptacle of hail, the receptacle of snow, the receptacle of the clouds, and the cloud itself which continued over the earth before the world. I beheld also the receptacles of the moon, whence they came, whither they proceeded, their glorious return, and how one became more splendid than another. I marked their rich progress, their unchangeable progress, their disunited and undiminished progress, their observance of a mutual fidelity by a stable oath. The sun goes out first and completes its journey in obedience to the command of Yahuwah Sevaot. Potent is his name forever and ever. After this, the path that both concealed and manifested the moon, as well as the progress of its path, was there completed by day and by night, while each, one with the other, looked toward Yahuwah Sevaot, magnifying and praising without cessation, since praise to them is rest. For in the splendid sun there is a frequent conversion to blessing and to malediction. The course of the moon's path to the righteous is light, but to sinners it is darkness. In the name of Yahuwah Sevaot, who created a division between light and darkness, and separating the ruachot of men, strengthen the ruachot of the righteous in the name of his own righteousness. Nor does the angel prevent this, neither is he endowed with the power of preventing it, for the judge beholds them all, and judges them all in his own presence. He basically said the sun, the moon, and everything comes out of big wooden containers from in heaven. It makes Earth a lot smaller than we think it is, huh? Anyhow, wisdom found not a place where she could inhabit. Isn't that interesting? Her dwelling, therefore, is in heaven. Wisdom can't live on earth, is what he's saying. Just cannot live here. So I'll say it again. Wisdom found not a place where she could inhabit. Her dwelling, therefore, is in heaven. Wisdom went forth to dwell among the sons of men, but she obtained not a habitation. Wisdom returned to her place and seated herself in the midst of the angels, but iniquity went forth after her return, who unwillingly found a habitation and resided among them as rain in the desert and as a dew in thirsty land. So what he's saying here, this is fantastic. I mean, this is just, he says, wisdom, nobody wanted wisdom, but you bring in a little bit of you bring in a little bit of iniquity, and all of a sudden men are going to welcome it and give it a house and habitation to live in, as if it was rain in the middle of the desert or a bunch of dew in a thirsty land. That's how bad they liked the iniquity. But they did not want to house wisdom amongst themselves. So, I beheld another splendor, and the stars of heaven I observed that he called them all by their respective names, and that they heard in a righteous balance. I saw that he weighed out with their light the amplitude of their places and the day of their appearance and their conversion. Splendor produced splendor, and their conversion was into the number of the angels and of the faithful. Then I inquired of the angel who proceeded with me and explained to me secret things, what their names were. He answered, a similitude of those has Yahuwah Sevaot showed you. They are names of the righteous who dwell upon earth, and who believe in the name of Yahuwah Sevaot forever and ever. Another thing also I saw respecting splendor, that it rises out of the stars and becomes splendor, being incapable of forsaking them. Parable, the second. Here's the second parable. Respecting those who deny the name of the habitation of the holy ones and of Yahuwah Sevaot. Heaven they shall not ascend, nor shall they come on the earth. This shall be the portion of sinners who deny the name of Yahuwah Sevaot, and who are thus reserved for the day of punishment and of affliction. In that day shall the elect one sit upon a throne of glory, and shall choose their conditions and countless habitations, while their ruachot within them shall be strengthened, when they behold my elect one, for those who have fled for protection to my holy and glorious name. In that day I will cause my elect one to dwell in the midst of them. will change heaven, will bless it and illuminate it forever. I will also change the earth, will bless it, and cause those whom I have elected to dwell upon it. But those who have committed sin and iniquity shall not inhabit it, for I have marked their proceedings. My righteous ones will I satisfy with peace, placing them before me. But the condemnation of sinners shall draw near, that I may destroy them from the face of the earth. There I beheld the Ancient of Days, whose head was like white wool, and with him another, whose countenance resembled that of a man. His countenance was full of grace, like one of the holy angels. Then I inquired of one of the angels who were with me, and who showed me every secret thing concerning the son of Adam, who he was, whence he was, and why he accompanied the Ancient of Days. He answered and said to me, This is the son of Adam, to whom righteousness belongs, with whom righteousness has dwelt, and who will reveal all the treasures of that which is concealed. For Yehusha Sevaot has chosen him, and his portion has surpassed all before Yehusha Sevaot. In everlasting uprightness, this son of Adam, who you behold, shall raise up kings, and the mighty from their dwelling places, and the powerful from their thrones, shall loosen the bridles of the powerful, and break in pieces the teeth of sinners. He shall hurl kings from their thrones and their dominions, because they will not exalt and praise him, nor humble themselves before him, by whom their kingdoms were granted to them. The countenance likewise of the mighty shall be cast down, filling them with confusion. Darkness shall be their habitation, and worms shall be their bed. Nor from that their bed shall they hope to be again raised, because they exalted not the name of Yehusha Sevaot. They shall condemn the stars of heaven, shall lift up their hands against El Elyon, shall tread upon and inhabit the earth, exhibiting all their acts of iniquity, even their works of iniquity. Their strength shall be in their riches, and their faith in the Elohim, whom they have formed with their own hands. They shall deny the name of Yehusha Sevaot, and will be driven from the houses of his assembly, and of the faithful who suffer in the name of Yehusha Sevaot. So he's saying that all the rich kings and people who create their own gods out of things they form with their own hands, he's got a plan for them. In that day, the prayer of the holy and the righteous and the blood of the righteous shall ascend from the earth into the presence of Yehusha Sevaot. In that day shall the holy ones assemble who dwell above the heavens, and with united voice petition, supplicate, praise loud, and bless the name of Yehusha Sevaot on account of the blood of the righteous which has been shed, that the prayer of the righteous may not be intermitted before Yehusha Sevaot, that for them he would execute judgment, and that his patience may not endure forever. At that time I beheld the Ancient of Days while he sat upon the throne of his glory. The Sefer of the living was opened in his presence, and all the powers which were above the heavens stood around and before him. Then were the hearts of the Kodeshayim full of joy, because the consummation of righteousness was arrived. The supplication of the Kodeshayim heard, and the blood of the righteous appreciated by Yehusha Sevaot. In that place I beheld a fountain of righteousness which never failed, encircled by many springs of wisdom. Of these all the thirsty drank, and were filled with wisdom, having their habitation with the righteous, the elect, and the holy. In that hour was the son of Adam invoked before Yehusha Sevaot, and his name in the presence of the Ancient of Days. Before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of heaven were formed, his name was invoked in the presence of Yehusha Sevaot. A support shall he be, and he shall be the light of nations. He shall be the hope of those whose hearts are troubled. All who dwell on earth shall fall down and worship before him, shall bless and glorify him, and sing praises to the name of Yehusha Sevaot. Therefore the elect and the concealed one existed in his presence before the world was created, and forever. In his presence he existed, and he revealed to the Kodeshayim and to the righteous of the world the wisdom of Yehusha, for he has preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and rejected this world of iniquity, and have detested all its works and ways. In the name of Yehusha, for in his name shall they be preserved, and his will shall be their life. In those days shall the kings of the earth and the mighty men who have gained the world by their achievements become humble in countenance. For in the day of their anxiety and trouble their souls shall not be saved, and they shall be in subjection to those whom I have chosen. I will cast them like hay into the fire, and like lead into the water. Thus shall they burn in the presence of the righteous, and sink in the presence of the holy, nor shall a tenth part of them be found. But in the day of their trouble the world shall obtain tranquility. In his presence shall they fall, and not be raised up again, nor shall there be anyone to take them out of his hands, and to lift them up, for they have denied Yahuwah Sevaot and his Mashiach. The name of Yahuwah Sevaot shall be blessed. His Mashiach is his Messiah. We all know who that is. We have Yahuwah, which is our Father, and then we have Yehusha, who's named after his father, and he is our Mashiach, or Messiah. Yahuwah and Yehusha. The name of Yahuwah Sevaot shall be blessed. Wisdom is poured forth like water. Glory fails not before him forever and ever, for potent is he in all the secrets of righteousness. But iniquity passes away like a shadow, and possesses not a fixed station, for the elect one stands before Yahuwah Sevaot, and his glory is forever and ever, and his power from generation to generation. With him dwells the Ruach of intellectual wisdom, the Ruach of instruction and of power, and the Ruach of those who sleep in righteousness. He shall judge secret things, nor shall any be able to utter a single word before him, for the elect one is in the presence of Yahuwah Sevaot, according to his own pleasure. In those days, the Kodeshayim, the chosen, they shall both undergo a change. The light of day shall rest upon them, and the splendor and glory of the Kodeshayim shall be changed. In the day of trouble, evil shall be heaped up upon sinners, but the righteous shall triumph in the name of Yahuwah Sevaot. Others shall be made to see that they must repent and forsake the works of their hands, and that glory awaits them not in the presence of Yahuwah Sevaot, yet that by his name they may be saved. Yahuwah Sevaot will have compassion on them, for great is his mercy, and righteousness is in his judgment. And in the presence of his glory, nor in his judgment shall iniquity stand. He who repents not before him shall perish. Henceforward I will not have mercy on them, says Yahuwah Sevaot. In those days shall the earth deliver up from her womb, and she'll deliver up from hers. That which it has received in destruction shall restore that which it owes. He shall select the righteous from and holy from among them, for the day of their Yeshua has approached. And in those days shall the elect one sit upon his throne, while every secret of intellectual wisdom shall proceed from his mouth, for Yahuwah Sevaot has gifted and glorified him. In those days the mountains shall skip like rams, and the hills shall leap like young sheep satiated with milk, and all shall become like angels in heaven. Their countenance shall be bright with joy, for in those days shall the elect one be exalted. The earth shall rejoice, the righteous shall inhabit it, and the elect possess it. After that period, in the place where I had seen every secret sight, I was snatched up in a whirlwind and carried off westward. There my eyes beheld the secrets of heaven and all which existed on earth. A mountain of iron, a mountain of copper, a mountain of silver, a mountain of gold, a mountain of fluid metal, and a mountain of lead. And I inquired of the angel who went with me, saying, What are these things which I in secret behold? He said, All these things which you behold shall be for the dominion of Hamashiach, that he may command and be powerful upon earth. And that angel of peace answered me, saying, Wait but a short time, and you shall understand, and every secret thing shall be revealed to you, which Yehusha Sevaot has decreed. Those mountains which you have seen, the mountains of iron, the mountain of copper, the mountain of silver, the mountain of gold, the mountain of fluid metal, and the mountain of lead, all these in the presence of the elect one, shall be like a honeycomb before the fire, and like water descending from above these mountains, and shall become debilitated before his feet. In those days men shall not be saved by gold and by silver, nor shall they have it in their power to secure themselves and to fly. There shall be neither iron for war, nor a coat of mail for the breast. Copper shall be useless. Useless also that which neither rusts nor consumes away. The lead shall not be coveted. All these things shall be rejected and perish from off the earth, when the elect one shall appear in the presence of Yehusha Sevaot. There my eyes beheld a deep valley, and wide was its entrance. All who dwell on land, on the sea, and in islands shall bring to it gifts, presents, offerings. Yet that deep valley shall not be full. Their hands shall commit iniquity. Whatsoever they produce by labor, the sinners shall devour with crime. But they shall perish from the face of Yehusha Sevaot, and from the face of his earth. They shall stand up, and shall perish forever and ever. I beheld the angels of punishment who were dwelling there, and preparing every instrument of Satan. Then I inquired of the angel of peace who proceeded with me, for whom those instruments were preparing. He said, These are the preparing for the kings and powerful ones of the earth, that thus they may perish. After which the righteous and chosen house of his assembly shall appear, and thenceforward unchangeable in the name of Yehusha Sevaot. Nor shall those mountains exist in his presence, as the earth and the hills, as the fountains of waters exist, and the righteous shall be relieved from the vexation of sinners. Then I looked and turned myself to another part of the earth, where I beheld a deep valley burning with fire. To this valley they brought monarchs and the mighty, and there my eyes beheld the instruments which they were making, fetters of iron of immeasurable weight. Then I inquired of the angel of peace who proceeded with me, saying, For whom are these fetters and instruments prepared? He replied, These are prepared for the host of Azazel, that they may be delivered over and adjudged to the lowest condemnation, and that their angels may be overwhelmed with hurled stones, as Yehusha Sevaot has commanded. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Phanuel shall be strengthened in that day, and shall then cast them into a furnace of blazing fire. Yehusha Sevaot may be avenged of them for their crimes, because they became ministers of Satan and seduced those who dwell upon earth. In those days shall punishment go forth from Yehusha Sevaot, and the receptacles of water which are above the heavens shall be opened, and the fountains likewise which are under the heavens and under the earth, all the waters which are in the heavens and above them shall be mixed together. The water which is above heaven shall be the male, and the water which is under the earth shall be the female. And all shall be destroyed who dwell upon earth, and who dwell under the extremities of heaven. By these means shall they understand the iniquity which they have committed on earth, and by these means shall they perish. Afterwards the Ancient of Days repented and said, In vain have I destroyed all the inhabitants of the earth. And he swore by his great name henceforward, I will not act thus toward all those who dwell upon earth, but I will place a sign in the heavens, and it shall be a faithful witness between me and them forever, as long as the days of heaven and earth last upon the earth. Afterwards, according to this my decree, when I shall be disposed to seize them beforehand, by the instruments of angels in the day of affliction and trouble, my wrath and my punishment shall remain upon them. My punishment and my wrath, says Elohim Yehusha Sevaot. O you kings, O you mighty who inhabit the earth, the world. You shall behold my elect one sitting upon the throne of my glory, and he shall judge Azazel, all his associates, and all his hosts in the name of Yahuwah Sabaoth. There likewise I beheld angels, hosts of angels, who were moving in punishment, confined in a network of iron and brass. Then I inquired of the angel of peace, who proceeded with me, to whom those under confinement were going. He said, to each of their elect and their beloved, that they may be cast into the fountains and deep recesses of the valley. And that valley shall be filled with their elect and beloved. The days of whose life shall be consumed, but the days of their error shall be innumerable. Then shall angels combine together and conspire. The chiefs of the east among the Parthians and Medes shall remove kings, in whom a ruach of perturbation shall enter. They shall hurl them from their thrones, springing as lions from their dens, and like famished wolves into the midst of the flock. They shall go up and tread upon the land of their elect. The land of their elect shall be before them, the threshing floor, the path, and the city of my righteous shall impede their horses. They shall rise up to destroy each other. Their right hand shall be strengthened. Nor shall a man acknowledge his friend or his brother, nor the son his father and his mother, until the number of dead bodies is their death and punishment. Neither shall this take place without cause. In those days shall the mouth of Sheol be opened, into which they shall be immersed. Sheol shall destroy and swallow up sinners from the face of the elect. After this I beheld another army of chariots with men riding in them. And they came upon the wind from the east, from the west, and from the south. The sound of the noise of their chariots was heard, and when that agitation took place, the Kodashayim out of heaven perceived it. The pillar of the earth shook from its foundation, and the sound was heard from the extremities of the earth into the extremities of heaven at the same time. Then they all fell down and worshipped Yahuwah Sabaoth. This is the end of the second parable. Hey, next time when we come back, we're going to read about the third parable. We'll end right here. Go ahead and digest that. Hit your record button, hit stop, and take that mobile with you if you'd like, and listen to it over and over. Feel free to ask any questions about words that you didn't understand on here, and we can look them up together. I'll show you a reference that you can use to find the definition of them. Keep studying your Father's Word, and if you have any questions or you have any trouble in your family, just remember, all you have to do is ask Yehusha to please clear the evil spirits away from your family and your loved ones. Ask him to do that, or be a bold follower of our Father. You order those evil spirits out in the name of Yehusha, giving him credit and glory and using his authority that he gives you. Use his name, Yehusha. Order the evil spirits out and enjoy the peace that he wants you to have. Subscribe, like below, comment, offer suggestions. Sure have really appreciated having this time with you and really enjoy reading this to you. I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed reading it to you. We'll come back next time and I'll start on that third parable that Enoch's going to share with us. We're on page 276, by the way, starting in the 56th, looks like 56th chapter, on page 276 of the Sefer when we come back. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day.